Did you know God can save homosexuals? God can save transgenders. I was in Greenville, Tennessee, 2018. The tent was set up in a cow pasture. I have no idea why God lets me put these tents up and makes me put these tents up in the weirdest places, but He does, and so I just roll with it. This was a cow pasture on a one-lane road out in the middle of nowhere. Right beside the tent was a house, probably from here to the Porta Johns out there. There was 2 lesbians that lived in that house. When God sent me to that town, the revival started in a white A-frame church, and it went for 7 weeks in the church. We outgrew the church. God gave us this tent. We set up the tent in the field, and the tent revival went 22 weeks straight. One of the greatest revivals I've ever been a part of, even as a little boy before I ever got saved. It was absolutely supernatural. But for 22 weeks under that tent, those lesbians would come out on the back porch. They'd pull up a chair and they'd listen to the preaching. But they never would come under that tent. No matter how much we asked, no matter how much we invited, they felt like if they came under the tent, they would be condemned for what they were living in. Both of these lesbians were in their 70s. They had been lesbians for over 45 years. One afternoon, I got a call from the pastor, and he said this, DR, one of those ladies is totally out of her mind weeping, and all she keeps saying is, I need to talk to Pastor DR. Do you think he would mind coming and talking to me? I said, you tell her I'm on my way. I threw on my suit, my tie, and I went over to that field, and sitting under that tent in a metal chair by herself was that lesbian. I pulled up a chair, and I sat down right in front of her and faced her eyeball to eyeball, and I grabbed her hand. And she, for the next 15 minutes, began to pour her heart to me. She said, Pastor, she said, I've been listening to you preach for these past few months. She said, I have made a mess of my life. She said, I've lived this lifestyle for over 45 years. She says, I know it's wrong. But she asked me this question, and it broke my heart, Aaron. She said, do you think God could save somebody like me? I said, ma'am, not only can He save you, but He wants to save you so bad, you can't even imagine how bad He wants to. And this 70-some-year-old lady, short hair, just sitting there, just weeping like a little baby uncontrollably. She was shaking. She held my hand. She said, well, what do I got to do? I said, I'm going to tell you what you need to do, and I'm going to let you do it. I told her what she needed to do to be saved, and I sat right there under that tent with that lesbian, and I listened to her pray these words, these exact words. God, if you can hear me, I'm tired of living in my sin. God, would you please save me and do for me what this preacher says you can do? That's all she said. And I'm telling you, the power of God fell under that tent. You could feel the Holy Ghost bigger than Texas. I'm telling you tonight, they ain't a sinner too bad that God can't save. They ain't a sinner too wicked that God can't save. This town ain't got no sinner that's too bad that God can't save. He came to save whosoever. I said He came. He came to save whosoever. He says He won't turn you away.